of the week. We had an unbelievable vote. They had a lot of fun with it. We appreciate them playing along. We'll have that coming up in a bit. We'll also have Frank Garris, the Oak Leaf coach, on the show in just a bit. They get a free pass to the next round of the playoffs. We were supposed to play Nice. That game canceled because of COVID-19 concerns, and the Nice Panthers forfeited the game. So Oak Leaf moves on to play Bartram Trail. Now, listen, Oak Leaf might have moved on anyway. They're probably the better team this year, but they'll play Bartram Trail. Welcome to 2020. COVID-19 playing a factor in the Baker County moving on as well. They didn't play tonight. And so it's not the last we will see of this, and it will be interesting as we get deeper and deeper into the postseason. Cancellations like that, postponements, potentially could really wreak havoc and sting a little bit more the deeper you go into the postseason. So everybody keeping their fingers crossed that they stay healthy this time of the year. But let's be honest, did we even know if we'd make it to this time of year? Everybody playing high school football right now, and we've got some good matchups. A lot of home teams in the area, so we'll take you around different spots. I think you're getting a look at Bowles right now, and Bowles is in the lead over the Villages. Okay, we're taking a look at Westside and Rains. We'll show you Bowles in a bit, but Bowles in the lead 28-7. Westside and Rains, we're taking a peek at a live look in right now at that one in Duval County at Westside High School. So let's do what we always do here on the show. We'll get some coaches. Stuart Weber will join us, kind of break down a little bit of the brackets, but we want to just give you some scores, show you some plays, and we'll have our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week coming up in a little bit as well. Episcopal beating Interlochen 41-12. The Eagles looking really good tonight on the road. Trinity Christian and Baldwin. This game's now in the fourth quarter. You knew it would be a defensive battle. Trinity's defense has been so good the last 5 weeks, and now I think it's a total of 15 points in 5 weeks. At least to this point, Trinity leads 13-3 over Baldwin on the road. Sewanee and Terry Parker. This one might surprise some folks now. Parker really putting on a show tonight, playing hard and trying to beat Sewanee. It was 7-7 at last check. Florida High all over Andrew Jackson tonight, 42-0. How about this one? This one will surprise you. We had Bobby Rollerson on last week, and the Fletcher Senators were looking pretty good, but he was leery of this one now. Atlantic Coast all over Fletcher, 41-14. That was the halftime score. 41 points. Ridge Jacobs and company getting it done. And right now, 41-14 in the third. Columbia beating Ponte Vedra 14-0. They're at home tonight. Bradford 12-7 over Keystone Heights. Mount Dora over Menendez 13-7. So that's a good one in the second half. Matanzas 7. New Smyrna Beach 3. Rickards beating Ed White 21-0 at the half. The Commanders are home, but obviously can't get Jason Patterson going enough. He's their workhorse, and they're being shut out right now by Rickards. Bowles 27-7 at the half was the last score over the Villages. We'll show you that one here in a little bit. First Coast playing at Tallahassee Lincoln, and Lincoln leads 21-0 at the break at last check. Scoreless game at the break between Fleming Island and Tate, so a defensive battle. We've seen that around the area. A lot of slow starts in the first quarter. From playoff football, the defenses ramp up a bit. Got a good one down in St. Johns County. St. Augustine, 17. Mosley, 16. That one's at the break. That one be one to keep an eye on. University Christian all over Acilla Christian, 41-0 at the half. And wow, we had this fantastic game a few weeks back. We showed you some of it. It was Fernandina Beach and West Nassau. That game ended up 56-50. Fernandina Beach ended up winning in overtime. Right now it's 14-14 into the second half, West Nassau and Fernandina Beach. Tavares over Ridgeview, 17-3. Ridgeview at home in that one. Buchholz and Creekside just met a couple weeks ago here in St. Johns County. Buchholz won that game while they're taking care of business this time in Gainesville, 28-0 over the Knights. Shut out the Knights. You're doing a pretty good job on defense. Clay beating Leesburg 15-0 at the half. So the Blue Devils trying to bounce back from that loss to Oak Leaf last week and advance here in the postseason. Lafayette over Hilliard, 7-6 at the break. Hilliard trying to keep this good run of a season going. Charlton County up in southeast Georgia over Lanier County, 10-6. Brunswick over Bradwell Institute, 14-6 at halftime. What else do we have here? St. Joseph's at home tonight. They are losing 20-0. Camden and Lowndes playing 7-7. That's a good one up there in Georgia. Orange Park over Citrus, 14-0. In the that was early on. I think we just don't have an update on that. Reball trying to go on the road. Fort Walton Beach Choctaw, they're up 18-14 at last check. Palatka and South Sumter, 7-7. Those are some of the latest scores. Let's see. Middleburg really took one on the chin tonight, 44-0 to Escambia. And Paxton, first time in the playoffs in 65 years. Well, it wasn't a memorable one. Congratulations for making the playoffs, but this was a tough matchup. And Tallahassee, Godby got them good. 64-0 was the final. So those are some of the scores. We'll continue to refresh the scores, and they will update as we go. Those are the latest scores that we have from around the area, and we've got some good ones, no doubt about it, that we'll keep you posted on. Like I mentioned, we'll try to get a lot of 7 o'clock starts. A lot of times in Duval County, we get to 6 o'clock games, and the games will be over by now. Not the case in the playoffs. We did have one 6 o'clock game. That was Paxton. That is over. Middleburg also played at 6. That's over. But a lot of 7 and 7:30 starts in the postseason. So it might take a little bit to get some final results. That's what we're here for. Here until 10 o'clock on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. It might take a little bit, by the way, to get coaches on, too. We'll try to get some of the coaches throughout the show. You're taking a look at Westside and Rains, and this is a good one. Although I don't remember giving an update of that score. I saw it early 7-7. We'll have to get an update on that score and see how things are going. Once you might have already seen it, by the way, while I was giving other scores. If you're watching our video platforms, and our man, I think Ryan Kendall, is out there for the Friday Night Blitz, and he could be showing us the scoreboard from time to time. We appreciate him giving us a live look at some of the action going on between Westside and Rains, as it looks like there's a little bit of a battle for the football right there on the punt. So Westside and Rains, I was going to try to get a peek at the scoreboard and couldn't do so. Keep an eye on the bottom line. We'll see if we can deliver that score for you here along the way. On this Friday night of playoff football. The Action Sports Jacks team trying to be as creative as possible. Obviously hosting the show from home. You can figure out why. And we've got a lot of help along the way here tonight trying to get all the scores and get all the highlights to you on this Friday night of playoff action with Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson, and the entire team. For our Friday Night Blitz, and Koo's hanging out back in the studio helping us all out, give you some live pictures and results of these games. So that's the quick look at the scoreboard. You can see them on the bottom line. If you're watching, as always, if you're just new to the show, check it out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, even Twitch, any of the ESPN 690 video platforms, and you can watch some of the live action. Some of the highlights we'll show you. Looks like a 20-13 game right now. Westside is losing to Rain. So a good game right there. We thought it would be, and that's why we're giving you some live pictures to that. You can also listen to us on ESPN 690 in your car, on the stream, Ask Alexa, all the different options that we always have, and we'll continue to update you on the scores if you're interested in the high school football scene. We're here until 10 o'clock with you. Coos, let's take a timeout. When we come back, Oakleaf coach Frank Garris scheduled to join us. We'll give you an update on some of the scores and more of the highlights along the way as we continue week 2 of the playoffs technically, but it's really the first full week, and a lot of teams in the area right here at home playing on their home field trying to advance. Remember, it was everybody makes the postseason, random draw in the postseason, so you could see some wacky scores, like some big-time mismatches. We already got a couple of those tonight, but we also have some dandies, and that includes Westside and Rains, and we're showing it to you right here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you have scores, don't be afraid to share them on all the social media platforms.
Max. Knicks fans, you have a choice. You didn't used to have a choice. The Knicks ran unopposed in New York for decades. The Nets were in the ABA, and then they were in Jersey. They're in Brooklyn. You have a choice, Knicks fans. You do not need to suffer the abuse at the hands of James Dolan anymore. You do not need to. You can root for another New York team.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio and coming to ESPN Plus November 9th.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. Pleasant temperatures tonight as skies become mostly clear. We'll drop into the upper 50s to lower 60s, and a partly sunny Saturday. Highs in the low 80s, inland in the 70s at the beaches, and Sunday will be partly cloudy and warm. A few showers, but a lot of dry hours too, and highs in the low 80s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burris.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. It's Beard's Diamonds 40th anniversary sale. Save up to 40% off store-wide till November 30th.
It's the season of giving at Honda of the Avenues, and Honda of the Avenues is giving you the gift of choice, like the choice of a new Honda Civic or HR-V for just $125 a month. Yes, just $125 per month for your choice of a new Civic or HR-V on a 36-month lease. See dealer website for details, but don't miss the season of giving at Honda of the Avenues. It's happening this month at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant. Visit the dealership on Phillips Highway or online at hondaoftheavenues.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, your friend Sean Hannity here. Many of you know I was a former general contractor, so I know what to look for when considering a quality roofer, and Big Fish Roofing is the only roofing company I have endorsed in Jacksonville, and the reason's very clear. Big Fish does not require any upfront payment. Plus, they do quality work every single time. Big Fish Roofing is truly the big fish of roofing in Jacksonville. You can find them online right now at Big Fish Roofing, one word, bigfishroofing.com.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. To keep surfaces sanitized all day, use Microban 24. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria initially. Once dry, Microban 24 is effective for 24 hours on bacteria when used as directed. Microban 24 sanitizing spray, bathroom, and multi-surface cleaner.
What's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. All you got to do is say Amazon Echo, Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy that succulent sports coverage.
Now, back to the Blitz Scoreboard Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues.
Hey, welcome back to the Blitz Scoreboard Show, showing you some live action of our Game of the Week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues as well. That's West Side against Reigns. And coming up a little bit later, I want to remind you about our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week. I mean, the vote was tremendous. We're going to give a shout-out to all our nominees, of course, and our winner, always revealed right here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. And we appreciate everybody for having some fun with that. That's part of the plan, right? Just have some fun, have some pride, have some passion. And, boy, did we get it from some of our nominees this week on our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenue. So we will reveal that in just a bit. We continue to reveal some scores in the area on the Blitz Scoreboard Show as we show you West Side against Reigns. And again, a couple of real good games going on. Trinity Christian and Baldwin has a heck of a matchup. Trinity's up 13-3 in the fourth quarter. By the way, Sewanee just took a lead over Terry Parker 14-7 in the fourth. And now Fleming Island, that game has been updated. It's 14-0 Golden Eagles. So we thought they could move on in that game. So the 0-0 score was like, uh-oh time. But here come the Golden Eagles, put on a couple on the board in the second half, and now they lead 14-0. Lee over Fort Walton Beach 29-6. Interlochen has scored, and Episcopal School of Jacksonville, they'll still rolling 41-19. I would think the stunner of the night, if you're a high school football fan, is Atlantic Coast. And not that they're winning, but by the score, 41-14, and that was a halftime score over Fletcher. So I think that's a bit surprising to some folks that follow high school football in the area. I want to get an update if I can. Let's see if I can find this one. Yeah, we still have West Nassau and Fernandina Beach, another big game in the area. It's 14-14. So we will continue to keep you posted. This is playoff time. It's win or go home time. It's an interesting deal, right? The season, it's not, I got to be careful what you say. It's season, it's not like it hasn't mattered. It's just that the win-loss record, districts, standings, all that hasn't mattered. And now all of a sudden, everybody's in the tournament, and now it all matters. And you get a chance to win and move on, survive and advance, or your season is over. And we'll continue to give you an update on all these scores from the area. There were a few teams that did not play. Mandarin Sandalwood, that game is not canceled, just postponed to Monday. It was initially scheduled to go yesterday. Then because of the tropical storm, depression, hurricane, it was moved, and they couldn't get enough officials to do the game tonight, so now it's going to be on Monday at 6 o'clock, and that's a fantastic opening round game. Meanwhile, Nice and Oakleaf, that game was canceled. Oakleaf moves on. Nice forfeits due to COVID-19 concerns. Same thing with Baker County. Their opponent from out of town had to forfeit the game, and so Baker County moves on. So that's just the world we're living in here in 2020. The world we're living in is part of the reason I'm doing this show from the house. That's the world we're all living in. So everybody kind of making adjustments, but at least we got some high school football playoff action here in mid-November, and it will go all the way through the early part of December. Who can make a run to the playoffs is something we're keeping an eye on. We'll continue to track all the way through. Just a reminder, we always have the Friday Night Blitz coming up at 10:30 on Fox 30. We'll show you all the highlights from around the area and all the updated scores. We'll take you until 10 o'clock right here on the Blitz Scoreboard show. Plenty of high school football action coming up, not just right now, but all night long. Thanks for hanging out with us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. You can see the video there, and that's kind of what's slowing me down a little bit. I want to make sure we share that with all the viewers on all those platforms. Buchholz now has taken a 37-0 lead over Creekside. Not surprising, again, that Buchholz is winning. They came over here to Creekside High School and won a few weeks back, but that score will surprise some people. Bobcats are good, and they're proving it tonight. They're really putting it on. A good Creekside Knights team. Creekside team that's had a very nice season. In our game of the week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues, it is Reigns over Westside, 20-13, and you're getting a live look at that. We've now switched sides of the field, so there's 11 minutes and under to go in this one in the fourth quarter, and we got a good football game between Reigns and Westside. Reigns playing better football, got off to a slow start, new coach, no more Duran Wiley. Obviously, they don't have the talent that they did have. We're talking a couple state championships just a few years ago, but now they're coming on strong. So doing a nice job. Looks like we have is that an official down? Hope he is okay. So obviously a little stoppage in the game right now because an official is down on the field. That is not good. Thoughts with him. Kuz, if you take us to another game, this looks like this could be a bit of we got a player down, too, coming off the field and limping. If you take us to another game, let's check in somewhere else because they could be stopped for a bit now at the Westside Reigns game. Just let me know where you go as we'll show some of the folks some of the other games going on. Bobcats, by the way, Buchholz add an extra point. It's now 38-0 over Creekside. Bradford has taken extended its lead. It's now 18-7 over Keystone Heights, and we're keeping an eye on some of the other scores around the area. We've got the Bowls game popping up here. I think it was 27-7 at last check. Never trust the scoreboards here on some of these feeds, but 27-7 was the score the last time around. Let's see what we got now, 34-14. So there you go. The Villages had a touchdown, and so did Bowls. That one deep into the third quarter, and Bowls trying to make another run. Last year, they somewhat surprisingly made a run to the state championship game, lost as in the state championship game. And so can they get the job done this year? We will see if they can do it. Let's ask Stuart Weber if he thinks they can do it. Stuart Weber joins us right now, king of the high school coverage here on Action Sports Jackson. What do you think? Can Bowls do it this year? I mean, there's no doubt it's kind of all or nothing for those guys. It's state championship or bust.
Yeah, no, I definitely think they can do it. I mean, especially when you're looking at, the competition in 4A, especially when you take out anybody from South Florida that might have been there to contend with them. So, I certainly think they could make a run and then go bring home another title.
Anything surprising you tonight so far? We got a good one then. Our game of the week brought to you by Honda of the Avenues, Reigns and Westside, 20-13. And obviously that Atlantic Coast Fletcher game has surprised me in terms of the score, and that was a ton of scoring in the first half.
Yeah, no doubt. And, the Senators really rely on that running game, and when you fall behind quickly against a team, sometimes that can kind of throw your game plan out the window, and then what are you going to do? So it'll be very curious to see what they do in the second half against the Stingrays, just because of the fact that, their go-to guy, Miles Montgomery, he's a running back. Running backs take time off the clock, and when you're down by so much, you kind of have to throw the ball around a little bit. So we'll be very curious to see if they're able to adjust and make a comeback, because that's a big hole they put themselves in.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. And I think the other one to keep an eye on in that same vein, Ed White was down 21-0. Jason Patterson just such a big part of it. And you're right, some of these teams built on the run. If the run doesn't work out, then, well, you get behind and you really don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if they're able to come back. I mean, that is a high score considering the fact that Fletcher did win that game the first time around, even though Atlantic Coast did do well in the first half of that original matchup. So certainly a surprise there. I would say a surprise that, Parker hanging with Sewanee. I know it's 14-7 now, but they led that one 7-0. And, this is a Sewanee team that came and beat Baker County last week, and we know how good Baker County is. So, props to the Braves for really battling on their home field in a playoff game and trying to get a win over a very strong Sewanee team with some really talented players. I had a chance to see them in person last week.
Speaking of battling on the home field, Westside trying to hold off Rains on this possession and get the ball back. They trailed 20-13 in the fourth quarter, under 9 minutes to go now, and we're giving you a live look here at this game as Rains has a touchdown lead on the road, and they just scored again. They air it out. Nice throw, nice catch. Somewhere Carlton Butler's probably in there. He usually is. But either way, Rains scores, and now it's a 2-touchdown advantage. We thought this one could be a good one. That's why it's our game of the week, right?
Yeah, definitely. I had a sneaky suspicion that Westside was going to hang with the Rains and really come to play tonight, and certainly they have proven that so far. But, the Vikings just with so many playmakers, and I'm getting a chance to see that touchdown now as well. What a pass and a throw. It's funny how that delay works, so I can watch it now 30 seconds after you did, about 15 seconds after everyone else did.
Okay. I'm on the delay all the time.
Love how that works in technology. But, yeah, so you wouldn't be surprised to see Rain start to get rolling too. I mean, we mentioned the Bowls getting going. Rains, they got a tough one next week on West Side because this matchup is going to be at home against Baker County. So we just mentioned how Baker County is. They're going on the road to either Rains or West Side. And if this score holds, it'll be Rains next. Wow, what firework that could be with Baker County coming to town. But, in 5A, you get those kind of matchups. And like we said with Bowls in 4A. So, they have to go on the road to Nassau County, to the winner of West Nassau and Fernandina Beach, if they get by the Villages here tonight. And then, the path is kind of set for them to get back to the Final Four. You got a potential matchup with either Bradford or South Sumter down the road, both teams that they've handled in the past couple of years when they've had to match up at this level in the regional finals, regional semifinals, that kind of level. So we'll see if Bowles can keep that thing rolling. We could get a Trinity Christian Episcopal matchup next week, or Baldwin. Baldwin really handling their own against Trinity. They were up 3-0 at halftime. So, some fun stuff to watch. And we knew that was going to be a defensive struggle between Trinity and Baldwin.
So it's 28-13 now, by the way, in our game of the week, brought to you by Honda the Avenues. Rains beating Westside. They had the 2-point conversion. So take something special now in the last 9 minutes of this game for Westside to come back. Take us through the brackets a little bit more while we keep you for a couple more minutes, Stuart Weber. Obviously, Oakleaf now moves on. Oakleaf Bartram Trail looks like an awesome one next week. We got Mandarin and Sandalwood, I think, is just so good given the history of those programs, and they'll play on Monday night. We have some fantastic matchups the way this thing shook out.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We're getting to see some of the old districts that we used to see a couple of years ago. Palm Coast will go to the winner of Mandarin and Sandalwood whenever they get to that one. You got Spruce Creek waiting in that region as well, and teams like Land and Seminoles. That region one is pretty stacked when it comes to 8A, and it would be a real accomplishment if we do an all-local regional final, which we'll have Oakland Bartram on the top. We got, and we'll see who can battle their way to that regional final. But continue to look down the bracket, get to take on First Coast or Lincoln. Looks like that's going to be Tallahassee and Lincoln that they match up with. Fleming Island would have to go on the road to out in Tallahassee. We'll see if they can hold on to advantage. And, you continue to keep looking at the different regions and see what's going to happen. St. Augustine in a battle against Mosley right now with Escambia waiting in the wings in the next round. And, 6A region more than maybe the other ones. You really start to see the panhandle teams. You get to really match up with those Panhandle teams, and it's not up to St. Augustine to have to do that. And at least for these first couple rounds, they would be at home. So that certainly is off. You can ride at home momentum, at least all the way to the regional final where you have to go on the road. But it is interesting to see how these brackets are going to shake out in the next few weeks.
Well, by the way, Kuz might have to hire him down in TV land. We pops it right up here. Scoreboard show. It worked. Kuz, love it. Hey, real quick, smaller school. We talked a little bit about bowls, but like the UCs of the world, Trinity, if they survive past Baldwin tonight, they're in a dogfight with them, but they do have the lead. Should we expect what we always expect out of those kind of teams? Run.
Yeah, I think the winner of Baldwin wins that region, or at the very least goes to the regional final and then has to play like a Pensacola Catholic. I think is a pretty strong team. Florida High too, actually. They went to the state finals last year, so there 3A has gotten a lot of what it was. Now that I look at that bracket a little deeper with Florida High, that FSU program, the high school that's affiliated with the college, winning more games than the actual college. So Florida High moving their way through the bracket and University Christian, they've proved they can do it. They're not undefeated teams. They're knocking out teams that have had these great seasons, doing it in emphatic fashion by just blowing the doors off these guys. I mean, Osceola Christian came in 6-2, and they were down 41-0 at halftime. So, UC is that battle-tested squad that keeps going and going when they get to the playoffs. So we'll see how they do once they get to the NFCs of the world in that regional final down the road. And UC going to have to go on the road the rest of the way, by the way. So that will be a big challenge for them based on the way that random bracket all came out. And the schools, too. I mean, Union County doing pretty well. You got Hilliard, who had that undefeated regular season. We hope that they can get it to Lafayette tonight. And then you got probably Co coming to town to face an undefeated Hilliard team. The matchup that would be next week to see the state power Cowboys come and play in Nassau County. So, we're keeping an eye on all the brackets. And a shout out to SSC, the Sunshine State Athletic Conference. We got an all-local semifinal going on tonight, and you're going to take a live here in a little bit with Bishop Snyder playing host to Eagles View. So two local teams battling for a spot in their state championship game in the SSAC.
All right, Stuart Weber, great work, man. We'll see you on the Friday Night Blitz with some more of the analysis as these games wrap up. Appreciate you jumping in for a few minutes. Kuz, let's take us back to the Westside Reigns game if you do have that feed when you can. Nice work with the playoff brackets there here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. And at the same time, we're going to welcome in Frank Garris, the head coach of the Oakleaf Knights, who, well, didn't plan on a night off, but got a night off. Maybe you went out to a nice dinner or something, Coach.
No. I'm at the Orange Park Citrus game. No, obviously, Bartram is our next opponent. They had a bye, and Sandalwood Mandarin's the other group that's in our area that's in the bracket, and I think their game got moved to Monday. So went and saw some local guys here, just checked out Middleburg earlier, and I'm over at Orange Park now. So, yeah, I should have had a night off, though.
Yeah, you want to find yourself a football game, didn't you? Hey, give us an update. Hey, play reporter for us. How's Orange Park at last check was winning that game, right?
Orange Park just stripped Citrus on a fumble, punched it in to go up 2 scores. It is now 21-7.
Ah, very good. See that? You can do
with about 3 minutes left.
3 minutes to go. That game's winding down. How unfortunate was that situation? You guys obviously wanted to play tonight. You're playing really good football right now. Nice wants to play, but it's the world we live in here. Was that a tough call to take when you got it?
Not really. We kind of caught wind of it around Tuesday that there might have been something that was up, and that they were kind of going through all the tracing aspects to just kind of see where it would leave them. And I guess by the time it was done, they had almost nothing left of a roster to be able to play a game. And so from that standpoint, we completely understand the decision. It was kind of a hectic week. We braced the kids for some adversity early on. Hey, there's a hurricane, air quote, in the Gulf right now that might change our game to Thursday, might change our game to Saturday, yada. And then by Tuesday, I didn't mention anything to the kids about it, but just we caught wind that there might be something going on. And then we got the call, I think. We didn't have school yesterday because of the storm. And so I think it was probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock, we had gotten word that it was official. And so from that standpoint, I probably would have liked to know a little earlier, just maybe we could start working on the next opponent. But at the same time, like something like this where it's the end of somebody's season, make sure the due diligence is done. And because, like, our kids lost their last home game our seniors lost the last home game, and I could understand like our seniors will be losing their last high school game without having an opportunity. And so from that standpoint, we completely understand. But yeah, it's 2020 has been tough. It's been hard. It's hard for kids to be high school students right now in 2020 because so many things are different with recruiting and everything else that's going on. But it's we got to kind of roll the punches and just move on. So we're fortunate we're still playing.
Yeah, Frank Garris with us, Oakleaf Knights head coach. How much do you kind of put your head on your pillow at night and just hope you don't get that phone call in the morning or walk into school the next day and bam, you got 15 kids that tested positive or are quarantined or whatever? I mean, is it on your mind at all, or you just like forget it? If it happens, I'll deal with it when it comes.
It's kind of constantly there. Like our school nurse or our principal or our athletic director, anytime I get like a text message or a phone call, I'm like, oh, geez. But it's been all good from that standpoint. We did the first time we played in East, we had 11 kids get contact traced the day of the game, and so we kind of had to make adjustments on the fly and just kind of understand. But that was some of the stuff that we had planned for going into the season as well. Just make sure we had, hey, look, there's a couple kids that play receiver that in a pinch, if we need them to play DB, they can. Let's make sure we get them some reps here and there sporadically. But other than that, we got lucky because it was that group, and we had some crossover kids that had done it. And we had another bit of luck because one of our starters happened to not be at practice that day because he had a broken finger and he was getting x-rays. And if he'd have been at practice, I don't know that we would have had enough kids to play that game.
Wow. We are giving you a live look, by the way, at Westside and Reigns. Reigns in the lead, 28-13 here on the Blitz Scoreboard show. That one at Westside. Westside with the ball. It is our Game of the Week brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. Right now, Frank Garris, head coach of the Oakleaf Knights, with us. All right, well, here's a showdown. I mean, we love this from our point of view. You have a fantastic program. We think you're one of the better teams in the area. I think Bartram Trail is one of the better teams in the area. They have a fantastic program. I mean, what a matchup next week. What can you expect in that one from your team and from theirs?
Well, I guess from their perspective, they are one of the best coached programs in the area, if not the best. Coach Sullivan does an unbelievable job with their team, and they do a great job on offense of being patient, understanding that it's a 48-minute game, and they play clock situations incredibly well. They're very patient from the standpoint of not having to take chunks, and they just want first down, instead of, hey, let's run a play and then go for a touchdown. Now, a lot of their first down plays, because they have some super dynamic players, become touchdowns or huge chunk plays, but they do a great job. And then on defense, Coach Thomas, the defense coordinator, has done a really good job of making them extremely sound and technically and fundamentally sound, and then they tackle well. They've got kids that fit the box very well, and then they're really talented in the secondary. So it's always a good challenge. And then special teams-wise, Coach Sutherland, that's his baby, and so he loves special teams, and so that's always a challenge for us. It's fun to be in these games, even though they are nerve-wracking environments sometimes. The prep and the practice and the planning are fun from our standpoint, especially for me, because I don't, as a head coach, I don't get to be involved as much with some of that stuff throughout the year. But when you play a team like Bartram where everything they do is all-encompassing and I can kind of be involved a little bit more or share some thoughts here and there, it's something that I really appreciate. And you get into the game itself, and it's like, look, every play can be the difference in winning and losing. Every play can be the difference between a tackle for loss and a touchdown. Like, those are the fun games to be in. Those environments are really cool. And our kids have done a lot better job. I think part of that's scheduling, part of that's maturity, because we've played some really, really good teams in Lowndes and Camden and Bartram already. We've been in some of those environments where our kids can kind of calm down in those situations, where in years past we hadn't. And then I think the other part of it is these kids have played for a long time with us now at this point, to where when they get in those environments, they're not as affected or the situation doesn't become too big to them, to where no matter what the environment is like or whatever the situation is in the game, it doesn't get to them anymore. And so from that standpoint, we're pretty excited about the opportunity. We love the fact that we get to go back there, because that's where we played earlier in the season. You know, we're kind of the same boat as UC. We won't have another home game the rest of the playoffs should we advance. And so, like, from that standpoint, okay, let's go back to Bartram. Let's play that game. That's what we want. You know, and that's kind of what we told the kids after the game. Hey, look, you guys have an opportunity because the state has laid it out to us. You have an opportunity that we know in 3 weeks we have an opportunity to come back here. So if that's what you want, if you want to right this wrong It's right in front of you. You got to go out and earn it. So,
yeah,
from that standpoint, our kid's done a great job with it.
What a great opportunity. And Walter Simmons III looks like he's playing really good football for you right now. And you answered my last question. That was going to be how that schedule helped you out, the early part of that schedule specifically. And it looks like it helped your team get ready and get playoff ready. Good luck next week against Bartram Trail. We look forward to that one. Have a good week. Stay healthy, and we'll see you next Friday night.
No doubt. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you.
You bet. That's Frank Garris. Oakleaf Knights does a fantastic job. They have a good team. And while we were talking, the 10 and Otis threw it up to Antoine McCray for a touchdown. Big score for Westside, 28-20 now the score. They hit the extra point, and that was vital and never a given in high school football. But you can see it, 5.5 minutes to go, 28-20. Westside now has a chance. That was a big score, the 10 and Otis to Antoine McCray. Right there. So thanks to Frank Garris for jumping in. Their game canceled tonight. They move on because of a forfeiture, and they'll play Bartram Trail next week. That will be a fun one. We'll have it for you here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Hey, Coos, let's take a break. We come back. I want to give a salute to our athletes, or our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week, but a salute to the nominees as well. And we'll probably catch close to the end of this football game, Rains and Westside. Our game of the week brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. It's a dandy right now as we take you there. 28-20 is the score. Reigns with a lead and the football with 5.5 minutes to play. We'll be back on the Blitz Scoreboard Show brought to you by Honda of the Avenues.
This is Greeny.
I'll tell you who Kyler Murray. People are going to compare him to Michael Vick. He doesn't look anything like Michael Vick to me. People are going to compare him to Lamar Jackson. He doesn't look anything like Lamar Jackson to me. You know who he looks like? If Barry Sanders was a quarterback, he'd have been Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray runs like Barry Sanders. You watch him run, and he's a great quarterback. He's a great thrower of the football. He's the closest thing to Steve Young. That's the best analogy to it.
Greeny, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, your smart speaker, and on the ESPN app.
As the seasons change, there's one thing that never changes: the importance of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean, and that's also why our family has a Connecticut system from CGC Water. Yours can too. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Connecticut Premier Softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Financing available with approved credit. Just call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
The pizza you'll soon be eating contains more than 55 years of tradition. Donato's Pizza started in Columbus, Ohio in 1963 with a commitment to serve delicious, fresh-made premium pizza. Donato's in Jax Beach is still proud to deliver their made-to-order, edge-to-edge goodness right to your door or at their convenient pickup window. Check out their unusually wide variety of options at 904donatos.com. It's no joke when they say they have something for everyone. That's 904donatos.com. Give it a try and see what you think.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. Pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
Now, back to the Blitz Scoreboard Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues.
All righty. We've got a good one there as you're watching Westside and Reigns. It's a one-score game. Reigns with the football. Coos, keep me posted if anything crazy happens. We're going to get to our ESPN Athlete of the Week in just a moment. I want to go over some scores real quickly and just to update everybody on some of the scores, at least that we have, and sometimes they trickle in, but we'll give you the best we can. Ed White down 21-0 to Rickards. Bowles now up 44-14. Fleming Island has added another touchdown, 21-0. We got a great one, St. Augustine and Mosley, 24-24. That one's in the fourth quarter. Ridgeview trying to come back against Tavares, down 20-17 now. They were down more than that a little bit earlier. Columbia up 2 touchdowns against Ponte Vedra. Buchholz roll into a win, 46-13 over at Creekside. Let's see if I can get anything else here. Atlantic Coast still up 41-14 at last check. Hilliard now has taken the lead over Lafayette 14-7, so they get a score. Bradford trying to hold off Keystone Heights. It's now 18-14 in that game. Choctaw's come back and taken the lead over Ribault 21-18. Lincoln over First Coast. That's Tallahassee Lincoln 28-zip. West Nassau, Fernandina Beach still tied at 14. Clay now leads Leesburg 29-0. Let's see. Menendez trying to hang in there, down 6 to Mount Dora. It's like election night for us right here as we go through the scores. We got some scores up there in Southeast Georgia as well. We'll get you some more scores as we continue to go along. But right now, I want to make sure we give a shout-out to our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. And this was tremendous. This is why we do it. Get an Athlete of the Week because we want to highlight some of the student athletes, not just football players, but also because we want some school pride in there and passion in there and the families and everybody else. Well, this vote was tremendous. Schools, they almost broke the website, ESPN690.com. And that's where you can nominate your Athlete of the Week. You can also vote for your Athletes of the Week. We usually will have it ready to go on Tuesday. The voting goes all the way until Friday at 6 o'clock, and we needed every minute of it tonight because of our Athletes of the Week. First of all, shout out to Clay Tucker from Bishop Kenny. He's a golfer, and he had a big week. Not only was he nominated for the ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week, but he also has committed and signed now to go play golf at Florida Southern. So good for Clay Tucker from Bishop Kenny. Urshad Jaycee, fantastic running back. Probably is having a big night for Episcopal, who's having a good night down there at Interlochen. 900 yards so far coming into the game this season, 15 touchdowns, 7.2 yards per carry. He's also a baseball player. Brother Calvin's a sophomore, plays cornerback on the football team, playing for Mark Brunell, and Episcopal's having a nice season. Urshad Jaycee's all over our highlights on the Friday Night Blitz, and he was a nominee. But a big-time congratulations to our winner of our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week this week. It's Emma Grimm, Fleming Island swimmer, part of a state championship relay team. By the way, her twin sister Sarah is on that team. I'm going to have more information on Emma in just a moment. But I want to share some of the numbers Kuz shared with me about our vote. This was really close, really close. Emma, 50.3% of the vote. Urshad Jaycee, 48.7% of the vote. So a big thank you to everybody at Fleming Island, everybody at Episcopal for taking part of this and having fun with it. Emma received over 20,000 votes this week. Urshad Jaycee, just under 20,000 votes. We had more than 40,000 votes collected. You guys were awesome. Thanks for having some fun with it, and congratulations to Emma Grimm. And I got a little more on Emma, so I want to make sure we share that because, heck, you guys earned it out there at Fleming Island, the way you backed Emma and supported her. She's a senior at Fleming Island in the ACE program. Super good grades, swimming competitively since age 6. You know, I used to say to the swimmers, because I swam all the way through high school, I say, hey, let's go race. I don't do that anymore. Too old for that. Haven't been in the pool in a long time. But she's been on the varsity swim team at Fleming Island now for 4 years, qualified for the FHSAA states every year, and last 2 years she was one of the 4 swimmers on the 2-time state champion 200 medley relay team. Again, mentioned, this is really cool, with her twin sister Sarah Grimm, also Avery Clark and Christine Johnson. So a shout out to them. They won the state championship last week in the 200 medley relay. That is pretty good stuff. She was a medalist in the 50 free the last 2 years as well, 5th in 2019, 4th this year for Emma. Breaststroke and freestyle her specialties. And on top of that, she's also big into equestrian, which is pretty cool. She's a big-time Gator fan, too. We won't hold that against her. But big into equestrian and competes at a high level as a hunter/jumper with her horse Matanzas, calls the horse Taz for short. So that is pretty cool. My dad would be interested in that. He's a big guy in horses. He would know all about it. And so very cool story with Emma Grimm. And congratulations, ESPN Athlete of the Week. Well earned for all of her supporters as well. Shout out to her sisters, Sarah, her twin sister, everybody who voted for her, and Hannah Grimm as well, because I know she was heavily involved and asking us a lot, like, when's the vote close? When's the vote close? So it was a big deal to the folks out at Fleming Island, and they did a fantastic job supporting Emma. Once again, a shout-out to Urshad Jaycee as well, deserving and fantastic support from them, and also Clay Tucker, who was one of our nominees. So here's the deal. That's what we do. That's what you have some fun with it. Nominate an Athlete of the Week. Does not have to be football. Obviously, Emma's a swimmer and does equestrian as well. She got nominated because of her swimming accolades in the last couple of years and this past month. So you can go to the ESPN690.com website, nominate somebody that you know, and then our vote's up usually from Tuesday to Friday at 6 o'clock, and you can go have some fun and vote on there. All right, Kuz, give me a quick look, if we can, back at the Game of the Week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues, and that is Westside and Rains, and see if we're winding down before we take one final break here on the show, and we'll give everybody a quick look at all the scores before we hit the top of the hour. And here you can see it. It looks like, about 78 seconds left in the game. 28-20 is the score. I think Rains is still on offense, and it's first down, which means this could be just a run-out-the-clock situation. Kuz, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll update you on this game. The Bishop Snyder game just went final. We'll get a score from there, and we'll do one final sweep through the scores before we get to the Friday Night Blitz at 10:30 on Fox 30. That is coming up as well. Looks like Rains going to win our Game of the Week and just hold off the West Side Wolverines. You keep an eye on that. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with the ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
It's the season of giving at Honda of the Avenues, and Honda of the Avenues is giving you the gift of choice, like the choice of a new Honda Civic or HR-V for just $125 a month. Yes, just $125 per month for your choice of a new Civic or HR-V on a 36-month lease. See dealer website for details, but don't miss the season of giving at Honda of the Avenues. It's happening this month at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant. Visit the dealership on Phillips Highway or online at hondaoftheavenues.com. The pizza you'll soon be eating contains more than 55 years of tradition. Donato's Pizza started in Columbus, Ohio in 1963 with a commitment to serve delicious, fresh-made premium pizza. Donato's in Jax Beach is still deliver their made-to-order, edge-to-edge goodness right to your door or at their convenient pickup window. Check out their unusually wide variety of options at 904donatos.com. It's no joke when they say they have something for everyone. That's 904donatos.com. Give it a try and see what you think.
Hey, Jacksonville, your friend Sean Hannity here. Many of you know I was a former general contractor, so I know what to look for when considering a quality roofer. And Big Fish Roofing is the only roofing company I have endorsed in Jacksonville, and the reason's very clear. Big Fish does not require any upfront payment. Plus, they do quality work every single time. Big Fish Roofing is truly the big fish of roofing in Jacksonville. You can find them online right now at Big Fish Roofing, one word, bigfishroofing.com.
Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. But if you missed the show today, you missed this. Are the Buffalo Bills for real?
I think they are. I mean, I've been a big Josh Allen supporter. I mean,
how about his start?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm not surprised.
I guess Jalen Ramsey wasn't right about him being trash. Subscribe to the podcast and check the show out on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Get the podcast daily. All you have to do is search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Now, back to the Blitz Scoreboard Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues.
They just got a score in. Bishop Snyder beats Eagles View in that SSAC semifinals. We'll have highlights of that one coming up tonight on the Friday Night Blitz. Rains now taking a knee on 3rd and 11. That might do it. We'll see. There are obviously a couple timeouts for Westside. It's our Game of the Week brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. It's been a good one, 28-20. The Rains scored to make it 28-13. Westside answers with about 5.5 minutes to go, but give credit to the Vikings. They got first down after first down, and now they're about running out the clock. You can see it going, 40 seconds and counting, and I believe it's fourth down because I think they called a timeout on first and second down. Looks like Reigns is about to win this one and hold off a pesky and game West Side team in our game of the week. So Reigns would move on in the playoff bracket, and a nice win for them. Okay, let's give you one more look at the scores as we go around here and see if anything changes drastically since we last updated you. Rickard up over Ed White 21-9. That's been the case most of the night tonight. And Ed White offense just can't get going against the Raiders. Tallahassee Lincoln over First Coast, 28-8 now. The Bucs on the board, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough. That Mosley St. Augustine game, what a game it looks like, 24-24. You know, St. Augustine's been playing really good football, and now it's all tied up 24-24. They're trying to advance and see if they can make a deep run into the in the postseason. Ridgeview has come back and taken the lead. Now there's a little bit of a score, I don't know about surprise, but it's flipped. Tavares had a lead, I think, by a couple of scores at the start of this show, and now Ridgeview has taken the lead 24-20. Ridgeview's a good football team, done a nice job out there this year, and trying to get a playoff win. That would be a heck of a win for the Panthers if they can hold on. Columbia up 14-0, shutting out Ponte Vedra. They're in Lake City in the fourth quarter. Hilliard and Lafayette now all tied up 14-all. Hilliard's had a really nice season and trying to complete it or continue it, and Lafayette trying to knock them out here in the postseason. Bradford up 18-14 against Keystone Heights. Brunswick up there in Georgia, 28-6 over Bradwell Institute. Florida High put it on Andrew Jackson today. At last check, it was 42-0. We still have that Atlantic Coast score, 41-14. I have not checked Twitter, and they have not updated this score because there's no way it can still be the third quarter of that game. So we'll try to give you a more updated score in just a bit. Ribault, now that's going back and forth with Choctaw. 24-21 is the score of that game. West Nassau, Fernandina Beach. We do not have an update on that one still. As I say that, Rains looks like they just won the football game. Maybe not. Not yet. Not yet. Looks like maybe a turnover on down. So 15 seconds. Hold the phone. Still got a little bit of time. That one here at the Blitz Scoreboard show. You will see what happens there. Clay, 29-0 over Leesburg. Charlton County up in Georgia over Lanier County, 10-6 at last check. Mount Dora still with a 6-point lead over Menendez. That's if that score is correct. It feels like it's been in the third quarter for a while. St. Joseph losing pretty big, 39-0. And, okay, we do have Atlantic Coast. Thanks, Kush. Atlantic Coast defeats Fletcher 47-21. That's the update of that score. I should have checked Twitter. I knew they'd be all over it. Kush helping us out tonight on the Friday Night Blitz, and we appreciate him for getting some highlights. You'll see the highlights of that one, and still I think that is a stunning score tonight. Not that Atlantic Coast won, but the fact that they won in style. They were up 41-14. They went 47-21. A heck of a win for Coach Mike Montemayor and the Atlantic Coast Stingrays. They get it done. Lowndes now up over Camden County at last check, although Duval Dew might have just texted me. No, he says there's a bad injury up there at Lowndes. That's probably why that game has been slowed up. But 14-7, Vikings are beating Camden County. That's a good matchup there, of course, in Georgia. Are they going to finish this game? We're going to take it to West Side Reigns the last, 6 seconds. And DeTan Otis has the football on the 34-yard line. So stop the scores, because we got ourselves a finish here in the playoffs. 28-20 is the score, Reigns. We're going to stay with this one, then I'll get back to the scoreboard. 28-20, 3.8 seconds to go. Basically, you have time for one play if you're West Side. Game can't end on a defensive penalty, so you got that going for you. But DeTan Otis, and keep an eye on number 8, Antoine McCray. So DeTan Otis is the quarterback. He's number 2 in the black jerseys. They've got the football. Ball on the 34-yard line, down 8. 3.8 seconds to play. I'm going to be a little bit behind here, so Kuz, if anything magical happens, let me know. But keep an eye on number 8 for West Side. He's a playmaker and deep probably pass. Where they want to go. Kuz says it's a deep pass. Hail Mary-esque, and Reigns will hold them off on the final play of the game. The Tannenotis put it up there for grabs, and it was knocked down in the corner of the end zone. Nice job by the Vikings as they finished things off, and a good try by Westside in the final minute of that one to at least give themselves a chance to win that football game. What a game. That's playoff action right there. Reigns and Westside. We'll have more from that game, including reaction, coming up tonight on the Friday Night Blitz. St. Augustine still tied with Mosley. I'm going to just whip through these and see if we've got anything that flipped in the final minute of our show. But we will have full updates and highlights coming up on the Friday Night Blitz at 10:30 on Fox 30. Once again, shout out to Paxton. They make it to the postseason. They do get beat pretty good, but first postseason game in 65 years. Lee with a nice win, 42-6 over Fort Walton Beach. Episcopal gets the win. Trinity Christian beats Baldwin 20-3. They've now allowed 15 points in the last 5 games combined. That is crazy. Terry Parker, they battled Sewanee, but they lose by a touchdown. 14-7 was the final. Fleming Island gets the win as well, and University Christian 2. We will show you the highlights from some of those games tonight on the Blitz. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Once again, a big shout-out to our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week, Emma Grimm. Congratulations to her and everyone who voted for her. We'll do it again next week here at 9 o'clock. We call it the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Thanks to Coos, Marcel Robinson, Stuart Weber, Frank Garris, the coach of Oakleaf, for jumping in for a bit. And we'll get more playoff action for you coming up on the Blitz in a half hour. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
The Giants might make the playoffs. They might win the division.
We have a chance. Are you still on this train?
No, listen, think about it. The only team that has crushed them was the San Francisco 49ers. They've been in every other game.
But like 1-7, it's hard to make the playoffs when you go 1-7 out of the game.
But they might go 7-9 and win the division. Think about it.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, your smart speaker, or on ESPN News.
As the seasons change, there's one thing that never changes: the importance of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants